All right, so here we go with the average rate of change. So, first example. If a car travels 200 miles in 5 hours, what is its average speed? Well, what we're just going to do for average speed would be the 200 miles divided by 5 hours, which would be, let's see, 5 can go into 20 4 times. So that's going to be 40 miles in 1 hour, or 40 miles per hour. All right, so with linear functions, we would find slope. And the nice thing about linear functions, remember which are lines, is that our slopes were constant. If you had a graph, let me find my blue pen, of a line, and you decided you wanted to try and find the slope between this point and this point, that would be the exact same slope as if you had tried to find the slope between that point and this point. The slope does not change. It has a constant slope. But for other functions, this is not true. So what we have to do is find the average rate of change for certain points on that slope. For example, let's say you have a parabola, and you want to find the slope between this point and this point. Well, that, if you notice, is going to be a different rate of change than if you're trying to find the rate of change between this point and this point. Okay, so because of that, since we don't have a constant rate of change for the other functions, we have this other way of finding the rate of change. So if you're going from point A to point B, you're going to go ahead and use this average rate of change. So for example 2, let f of x equal x squared minus 3x plus 1. So we're trying to find the average rate of change between the given values for the variable. All right. So let's go ahead, and this is going to be our a value, and that's going to be our b value. So plugging this into the function, this is going to be f of my a value is negative 2 minus f of my b value is, oh, and sorry, I just plugged that in incorrectly. So it's my b values minus my a values. So my b value is 3, and my a value is negative 2. And then divide that. And 3 minus negative 2. Okay, so simplifying, let's see. My f of 3 value is going to be, let's see, our function is going to be something squared minus 3 times that something plus 1. 3 squared minus 3 times my input plus 1. And that was for f of 3. And let's go ahead and do f of 2. So minus my f of 2 value, negative 2 squared minus 3 times negative 2 plus 1. All over, and that's going to be 5. Okay, so this is going to equal, so 3 squared is going to be 9 minus 9 plus 1 minus, simplifying this, that's going to be 4 plus 6 plus 1. All over 5. Which is going to equal, so 9 minus 9 is gone, so it's going to be 1 minus 4 plus 6 is going to be 10 plus 1, 11 over 5. So that's going to equal negative 10 over 5, which is going to equal negative 2. And that's the average rate of change. Okay, let's go ahead and do that for B. So this is going to be my A value. Oh, and now interesting, my B value is actually going to be a binomial. That'll be interesting. Okay, plugging this in. So f of my B value, 1 plus h, minus f of my A value, 1. All over my B value, 1 plus h, minus my a value of 1. Okay, let's go ahead and fill this out. So my function value is going to be 1 plus h squared minus 3 times 1 plus h plus 1. Minus f of 1 is going to be 1 squared minus 3 times 1 plus 1. All over. Simplifying that, that's going to be 1 minus 1, so we're just going to be left with h on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to have to FOIL this out on the top there, so that 1 plus h is going to be 1 plus 2h plus h squared minus, let's do the distribution of this one here, 3 minus 3h plus 1. And then simplifying this one out, that's going to be 1 minus 3 plus 1. So 1 minus 3 is going to be minus 2, plus 1 is going to be negative 1. All over h. Okay, and then simplifying inside here, that's going to be 1 minus 3, so it's going to be minus 2. And then plus another 1 is going to be minus 1. So we have minus 1. Then let's add the 2h and the negative 3h, so it's going to be negative h. And then the plus h squared. All right, simplifying in the top, the 1's are going to cancel each other out. That's negative 1 and then double negative, so negative 1 plus 1. So we will be left with h squared minus h all over h. And we can go ahead and factor out, let me move this over here, factor out that top for the h's, so it's going to be h times h minus 1 over h. And we can cancel those h's, so we'll be left with h minus 1 as our answer. All right. Only a few more to go over this. Same thing. All right, so let me get my ruler so I can divide the page up a little bit here real quick. All right. Same thing. Go ahead and try these by yourself and then check the video with me to see if you have the same answer. So this is going to be f of b minus f of a, just so we remember what it's like, over b minus a. So plugging that in, it's going to be f of 1 minus f of negative 2 all over 1 minus negative 2. And my function is 2 over x. Ooh, and notice I was using f. Naughty, naughty. That is supposed to be a g. I didn't read my directions correctly. That would have been a few points deducted. Okay. The bug needs to get part of the action. Okay. That's going to be 2 over 1 minus negative 2 over, minus 2 over negative 2. Because our function is g of x equals 2 over x. All over, and then that is going to be 3. So this will be 2 minus, and this will simplify into negative 1 all over 3, which is going to equal 3 over 3. Hey, which is 1. Not too bad, that one simplified really nicely. Okay, and the next one, last one for this activity, or this lesson. That will be my a value, and here will be my b value. Another time we have that binomial going on. But we've worked with it before, so it shouldn't be too bad. So g of a plus h, that's my first value, minus g of a, all over a plus h minus a. And plugging them in, so this is going to be 2 over a plus h. Ooh, I'm creating some interesting things here. For 2 over a, all over. Well, simplifying this, that's just going to be h. Okay, so now I have a complex fraction. So remember the idea for a complex fraction, you're going to use your LCD to cancel out the mini fractions. Okay, so what is my LCD? A times a plus h Okay, and we're going to go ahead and multiply that to the top and the bottom. Using the building up property. And let's go ahead and I'm going to write this out so I can show the distribution. So give me a sec to write it all out. Okay, and let's see what cancels. Do the many fractions cancel? Well, that cancels with that. The a's cancel. Nothing cancels here, but it does look like our many fractions have canceled, so we no longer have a complex fraction. Okay, let's go ahead and distribute that 2 into my problem there. So 2a minus 2a minus 2h all over ah times a plus h. And the two a's cancel each other out, so we're just left with negative 2h all over ah times a plus h. And let's see, does anything else cancel? Yes, the h's cancel. So I'm left with negative 2 over a times a plus h. And that is it for 2.4. This is your written homework, due by the end of the week. Email me if you have any questions.